Hey, Dan, so we just finished Mad Max, the first Mad Max, 1979 is when
I'm
it came
sorry.
out.
Sorry, what movie is
That's
that?
Mad Max. What did you think about it,
What
though?
film? Oh, I mean, it was kind of mid,
Yeah,
but
maybe a little mid.
I don't. But
I
it's, I
feel like
don't
I
know.
was mixed on it.
I was. That's the thing. I've got mixed feelings on it. It's kind of. It's a mid. It's a mid mix, sort of like it's
Yeah,
a.
this movie is
You know,
mid-mix, for sure.
it's sort of a
Maybe
mid
mixed mid?
mix. Maybe. It's definitely mixed. Some mid is mixed in, but more than
Oh,
not, it is a mid mix. You
mid
know,
mix.
mid mix.
Mid mix the Road
So
Warrior might
his
be
name
pretty
is
good.
Max Rockatansky.
That's an
Road Warrior
important detail.
is the second one I haven't seen.
He is
This is the
Road
only Mad
Warrior.
Max movie I've seen.
That's so sad. I feel so bad for you. We're talking
Yeah,
wet on this movie already. I liked
no,
it.
it's Rockatansky.
He's
So
Max. He's
he's
angry
he's
or
mad
crazy.
or both possibly. I think
Yeah,
in
by
this
the
one it's
end, for
meant to be
sure.
crazy, but also
He's for
definitely
sure.
angry.
Yeah,
It's like a
he's
revenge
both.
movie, but he's crazy. He's
But he,
mad,
I mean,
really.
it's a revenge movie for about 30
He's
minutes.
yeah, less really.
And we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah, in about
Um,
30 minutes. So
before
he's
we
mid.
before we jump into
He's
the
mixed.
discussion, thank you for watching. If you're here, thank you for making it this
Yeah.
minute and
And
30 seconds.
really, if you're not here, thank you for not watching.
Oh, for
Also,
sure. I don't want
um,
anybody to watch this.
yeah. I mean, the less the merrier, really. That's
the more the lesserer.
the more the
I'm
more.
married.
Yeah, that's true. Regardless of how many people are watching, I think that's just a true fact.
Right. Or a fake fact. Or a fake friend. Um
Fake news, maybe.
Thanks for watching. Go ahead and drop a like on the video if you're watching on YouTube. Rate it if you're listening on Apple Podcast. Also, go ahead and hit the share button on whatever you're listening to and send this to someone you know.
Yeah,
Okay. Send this to
my
someone you
fault.
know who has more than 2 speeding tickets.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I met someone recently. I didn't meet them recently. I found out recently that someone I know has
sure.
8 speeding tickets, and
Ooh,
they're
that's a
in
lot.
college.
That's mighty impressive, really.
Yeah, they know the
They
judge,
think
so they
they
didn't get their
mid
license
mix.
suspended.
Nice.
My dog is barking. I don't know if you guys can hear that,
Yeah,
but
I hear that.
he's going wild. Actually, my
He
fish is
yapping.
barking.
Oh, is that what's doing it? Old gallbladders responding
Gallbladder
as he
surgery is barking. I have a
as
fish.
he
His name is Goliath. I've been calling him gallbladder surgery. Anyway,
sure as you do.
um,
So Max is mad.
he's angry and he's crazy.
But yeah,
Go shut this dog up.
pop this video on if you've got like a if you've got a like any sort of smart fridge or smart device that wouldn't be like the only ones I can think of are smart fridges, but I feel like there's other ones like a smart oven or some shit, like any one of those weird Samsung products that it's like, it's an appliance, but it also like you can connect to the internet and shit on that. Pull up our podcast on YouTube, or if you can get Spotify or Apple Podcasts on there, get that too, and just play it on your Samsung smart fridge, or if you got a buddy that's got a Samsung smart fridge
Yes.
or smart oven or whatever, the smart products. There's a
While
couple
you're
of
on
them out
that, I
there.
don't know if this is what you said, but I don't think it is, but it might
I
be.
might have.
Pull this up
Mm,
on YouTube
hmm.
and hit the AirPlay button and go
Yes.
ahead and just AirPlay this to your neighbor's TV.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. Just like whatever pops up,
Yeah,
just
and
click
right
on
at
it
this
and
point,
try it. And
do it right at this point.
try it in public too. Like if you like go to like the mall or
Mm,
Publix or like a PDQ or whatever, like anywhere that
yeah.
there's like,
Or you're in like a restaurant, they've got
checkers.
TVs on
Yeah,
the like
yeah.
smart TVs on the wall. Yeah. And do it right now. I'm gonna count down from three, three,
Hmm.
2, 1. What's up, public? It's the Semi Pro Film Show. Go ahead and look us up on.
Patreon link slash tr dot e or t slash dot ree semi pro film show. Click on all the links and subscribe. Ring the bell. um Patreon $1, $1 single dollar. Instead of if this is at a restaurant, instead of tipping your waiter or waitress,
Yes.
use that, or take at least $1 from
Take
the
a dollar
tip that
off
you
the
were
tip,
gonna
yeah.
tip. Because I mean, come on, you were gonna give them at least $5. Like otherwise, you're kind of an asshole.
And
Let's be
look, do
real.
it
So
because I
just
have
give
a
them
fish
$4.
named gallbladder surgery.
Right. I mean, look, let's be real. It's not your obligation to pay their wages. Their boss should be doing that. You know, that's their employer's
Oh,
job.
yeah, we're getting
You
there.
don't
We're going there. We're
you don't
going
need to
into
tip.
tipping
Spend your
culture.
money instead of tipping your
We're going into
server.
tipping culture. That's what we're doing on this episode of the
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. I'm Steve Buscemiing it in Reservoir Dogs.
Look, I
Except for
get
the
it.
part where it says
I get
landlord.
tipping because it encourages good service, but I've never had a good waiter, so
Right.
I
Yeah,
don't tip
yeah.
actually.
Right. You're Steve
I actually
Buscemi from
write
Reservoir Dogs.
minus and then whatever I want to subtract from my
Yeah,
bill.
yeah. I put
And
minus than just the entire price of the bill.
yeah, no,
I've never spent I've never spent money on.
once I put minus $1,000 and they deposited money into my bank account.
But yeah, do that.
The waiter just put
don't tip
plus.
don't
They
tip
put a
your don't
line
tip
through my
yeah, they
minus.
just put one single line. But yeah, don't tip your waiter or waitress. Instead, purchase our Patreon for a single dollar a month. You get access to
Or
exclusive
a
commentary
thousand.
tracks.
Make 1,000 different Patreon accounts and subscribe to our Patreon.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, and then we'll
But it's
get
only $1, you'll holler.
1,000.
We've spent more time talking
Right.
about this than anything, but that's okay because this is a
So what?
podcast. This isn't a
You know,
YouTube
just
video. Don't
right.
expect a normal
We can do
YouTube
whatever we
video.
want. You know, that's the thing. You know,
I
this
have
is
a
our
fish
party.
named
We can cry
Goliath,
if we want to.
but his name is also gallbladder
The fish's name is
surgery.
Goliath. The horse's name was Friday. That's the thing people don't realize. They don't think about that. Like, no, it doesn't click in anyone's head. Like, how could he have rode in on a Friday and rode out on a Friday? It's obviously because the horse's name was Friday. Like, you're so
Yeah, like how did you
foolish
not get it?
for
You're an
not thinking it.
idiot. You're
Like,
so
come on, you're
stupid.
dumb. Obviously, the
But
horse's name was
Max,
Friday.
Mad Max Rockatansky,
His name is
rode
Rocket.
into town, on a Friday, and he was there for 2 days, and he left town on a Friday because his car's name was Friday.
Right, and his car's name was not Knight Rider, the car that talks.
That
That's
was a
a
bad guy
different
in this movie, I
character, I
think.
guess. It was someone. Maybe that was the one he lit on fire. Who
The
knows?
horse's name was Toe Cutter.
I don't think he was a horse.
No, the
He did have a
Knight
fly
Rider.
land on his face, like a
Knight
horse
Rider
would
died at the
do.
beginning of the movie.
Oh, was he the one in the gray or the
Yeah.
coffin that
As we
Toe
jump
Cutter
into
was
as we
clutching?
jump into the plot, it opens with a
Mhm.
really pretty sick car chase between a cop and like this couple.
Right. Yeah, it's the couple. We first see them having public sex.
Intercourse.
Yeah. Then they get chased by the cops.
And they're on a horse, and the horse's name is Friday.
No, they're in a stolen cop car, maybe.
Mm.
And then that chase goes on until it doesn't, and then
It goes on and on and on and on.
right, and then it doesn't, and then they die. Maybe Mad Max Rockatansky gets involved in that chase at some point. He's chasing after them and just crashing through an obscene amount of stuff.
Yeah, it's
just
interesting because it keeps like
destroying
not showing
everything.
his face as if it's like a
Yeah.
reveal of who he is.
Right. But
And it's
no
just
idea.
Mel
Like,
Gibson, who's
yeah.
never been in a movie other than this up to this point. But that's
Right.
fun.
But yeah, it's cool. It's chill. It's a bunch of fun car action stunts. A lot of cool crashes. A car
Lots
flips
of
at
cool
one point.
crashes. Lots of cool car
There's a lot of
flips.
stuff happening. Yeah.
It's a lot of Max Rockatansking.
Well, yeah, that's his name, Officer Rockatansky.
But yeah, so after this
Oh.
Knight Rider guy dies at the beginning of the movie,
Right.
we're introduced to Max's family.
So was Knight Rider the guy in that car then?
Yes,
The
Knight Rider
girl?
was
Oh,
the
yeah.
guy. He was one of
Okay.
Toe Cutter's like
He was
goons,
one of
but
the
we'll get there.
goons. Yeah.
Then we're introduced to Max Rockatansky's family, Mrs.
Right.
Rockatansky and Goon Rockatansky.
Right. Jessie Rockatansky is her name, and Spog, I think, is the son. Is Spog Rockatansky?
Which, admittedly, it's short for Spogget.
I don't think you can say that word anymore.
Well, no, that would be Spaga. Can't say that one, but you can't say Spogget.
I I digress. But
You
the kid,
better.
the
You
kid is
better
named
digress.
Spog.
Kid is named Spog, which is goofy and silly, and I love it.
Yeah, a woman plays the saxophone and then
For so many
drinks
minutes.
Scotch whiskey all night long and dies behind the wheel, I think.
Now, the one playing
Um,
the saxophone was Jesse. Jesse
what was it?
was Jesse Rakutansky. Yeah.
I thought the woman playing the saxophone was the weird Shelley Duvall mixed with me faced lady.
No, that's
Or
way later on. She's just singing.
that was just some lady.
Yeah,
Mm.
saxophone
Was that
is
Rakutansky's
Jesse
woman?
Rakutansky. Yeah, because
Mm.
it's the scene where we're introduced to her and the family and the dynamic and all that kind of
Right.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
She plays the saxophone for her husband. They make love, I think, and then they eat
Sure.
breakfast.
Right. I mean, yeah.
And he's like, "Man, I love being a cop, but I also hate being a cop because it puts me in danger, and
Right.
you and my son need me." And then he leaves, and she
And
does
he's
the
got a
weird.
buddy. What's she
She
do?
does the weird sign language.
Oh yeah, this
I'm crazy about you thing. It's
she's
like,
crazy and she talks
yeah,
in fake sign language.
it's probably real sign language. I just don't know enough sign language.
Maybe it didn't look like real sign language,
Well, I know
Maybe it's
this is
Australian sign
actually sign
language.
language for crazy, like the whole like finger swirling around the head thing. And then
Sure.
she like does this, which could be about, I don't know, and then she points at him.
Maybe.
And I would say
Whatever it
pointing
is,
at a person
it's
is definitely
stupid.
sign language for you.
Sure, probably. But maybe it's sign language for point. Who knows?
No, sign language for point I know is it's this one.
Oh, is it?
No, I don't know. I made that up. It's probably like this or something.
Yeah. Anyways,
I learned sign
he's got a
language.
buddy. His buddy's name is Goose, Jimbo Goose.
Jimbo Goose, James
He
Goose.
was James Goose was you know James.
He's Daniel Craig from Russia with Love, the second James Bond movie. Before Daniel Craig was
Whatever that
born.
means.
There's a guy in that
Um,
movie who
I
looks
don't
like Daniel
care.
Craig,
Yeah, I don't care.
and this guy looks like
So,
that guy.
good, great.
You know,
Uh,
kind of thing.
no.
Hey Dan, you're being a little crass right now.
Oh, am I? I don't even know her.
I don't even know what crass means.
If you add an H to the end, it's
What Max
every 20
Rockatansky
minutes
does.
of this movie.
Max Rockatansky crassed. He was crass. He was very crass.
He was a very crass individual, but also mad.
And Australian.
Kind of. He's as Australian as Carrie Fisher is British in A New Hope.
Right. He's as Australian as beloved actor of screen and stage Mel Gibson.
Right. He's as Australian as Halle Berry is African in the first X-Men movie.
It's another movie where they dropped an accent one movie in.
I
I'm
think
sure
it's
there's more.
just those three.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
What? Excuse me.
They dropped the accent in the second one.
What?
Matthew Broderick was doing an American accent in that movie.
What?
You didn't know that he's actually Zimbabwean?
Well, I'm sorry. What? From what country does he hail?
Zimbabwe.
And what? And that makes it what is his ethnicity?
Zimbabwean.
So Zimbabwean. Okay, I got you. No, I
What
didn't
are
know
people
that.
from Zimbabwe called?
It's Zimbabwe, and I think Zimbabwean. I guess
What if you called them
Zimbabwean.
Zimbos?
No. But anyways, look up Matthew Broderick, Northern Ireland.
He's Irish, actually. He was
He's
covering
actually
up his Irish accent.
he's actually Irish. Google Matthew Broderick, Northern Ireland
Irish.
to find out
Yeah,
more
just
about
Google
this.
Matthew Broderick Irish and see what happens.
Right. but yeah, so
See what happens. You'll get search
Matthew
results probably.
Matthew Rockatansky, Maxiu Rockatansky.
He killed a bunch of people in North Ireland.
He killed 2 women while drunk driving in northern Australia. He
Yeah,
killed 2 unpaid extras while performing
probably.
stunt work
Would not be
in
surprised.
Australia. No, they weren't unpaid. George Miller gave them all beer.
Probably. Lots and copious amounts.
No, that's a true fact about this. That most of the extras were paid in beer. Remember
That's
reading
awesome.
that, and
That
I mean it
makes it a
makes
true
sense.
fact too.
Well, because I read it on the
On
true facts
Reddit.
section of IMDb.
I read it on
It was in the true
Reddit.
right, but it was on the subreddit r/true facts, so it had to be true. You
Right.
know,
Keep going. You're doing great.
yeah. So the movie is Jimbo he's the partner. We get a little bit of stuff where they're like buddy copping it,
Well,
and
they
then
arrest a guy, right? Like they
the
arrest the
guy
one
that
guy.
he's wearing a suit, and
Yeah.
then later he gets burned, but we'll get to that.
And this is where we see the scene of they're inside of the police headquarters, and it's
Oh
just
yeah, it's just some
whatever abandoned
abandoned
building.
building,
Yeah,
but it's
whatever
yeah, it's
one
dope.
Mel Gibson.
There's this hilarious shot. It just says Hall of Justice.
And then the music kicks in. That's like,
There's this
ba-dom,
epic
dom,
score playing. Yeah, it's great.
dom.
Um,
But yeah, so they arrest this guy who's part of Toe Cutter's gang. We've been introduced to Toe Cutter at this point, but that's not
yeah,
super
but
crucial.
barely. He's said like a word or two. He's just kind of there.
And he'll say 3
Got
or 4 more
funny
in the whole
hair, right?
who the villain was not important to this movie as much as there was one. Like that's what's really kind of important here.
Right. Yeah.
And he cuts toes off. It's kind of
I
his,
guess. Yeah. He's
kind
got
of
a toe knife or whatever.
his you kept calling him Toe Knife in the commentary track. If you
Well,
want to
what's
see
his
that,
name?
subscribe to the Patreon.
Yeah,
Made a
$1.
little
We'll
treat on
holler.
that.
I'll give
We
you
did.
a little preview of what the holler will sound like. It'll be like, ah, but that's just a preview. That's not
But
the full
longer
one.
and like better.
Yeah, it'll be a full. Oh
Better.
my goodness, that's a big ass mayfly. You know they call mayflies daddy long legs in the United Kingdom. Comment down
That's
below if you're from the
interesting.
United Kingdom and if that's a true fact.
See, because we call Daddy Long Legs.
Right? Yeah,
The
and they got
spider.
long legs. Yeah, I nearly killed her.
Right. So they arrest this guy who's part of Toe Cutter's gang, but then he gets out because he's got a good lawyer, or Toe Cutter's got a
They
good lawyer?
I don't know. I guess it's probably some sort of like, they got the cops on their payroll, but there's still
But
Mad
not
Max
Mad
is one of the
Max.
good cops.
No,
Him and Jimbo, they're the good.
I think the cops in this are relatively on. It's not really a commentary on police. Like I think they're relatively clean because the guy he went
Right.
out with is a lawyer, and all the cops are upset about it. There's only like
Yeah.
5 cops in all of Australia, according.
There were no there. I think this was supposed to be like some special unit of cop. They're like the road unit of cops,
The
maybe.
Road Warriors.
They're the road warriors, right? Um, but yeah, there were a couple. Then there was the one Dr. Eggman looking fat guy. He was like the boss honcho maybe. But yeah, so they this guy's got a full suit and they wrap him in big chains and it looks funny. And then his lawyer gets him off, I guess. Man, I wish my lawyer would get me off, you know what I'm saying? You get me? But yeah, all the cops are mad. He gets away and goes back to Toe Cutter, who is this when we
Tokata.
see yeah, Toka means the Toka.
Toka and
Uh,
Razor from Ninja Turtles 2.
right. One is a coyote, the other's a snapping turlaw.
Right. I forgot about Snap and Turlaw.
Yeah, well that's what it was.
Right, he was, yeah.
But I think this is when we see Toe Cutter on the beach with his stupid little fucking comforter blanket.
Oh, it's not
And
even a
they're
comforter, it's a tarp.
is
Like
it
it's
is it a
literally it's
tarp?
a reflective tarp.
Yeah, so he's got a fucking reflective tarp and they're sitting on a
And we
couch on
say
the
that, and those
beach
of you who are
like
listening
the
are
end of
probably
Wilfred.
thinking you're probably thinking like, oh, so this is one of those like medical. No, 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 it's a tarp.
Right.
It's I know a tarp, and it's tarp. He's wrapped in a tarp.
But yeah, but they're sitting on a couch on a beach, like the end of Wilfred.
Right.
It's a Wilfred reference.
And then they shoot a
Australian.
mannequin.
Well, first they're like getting rapey with a mannequin.
Right.
And then Toe Cutter's like, hey, stop. I want to shoot the mannequin. And then the other guy that got off with the good lawyer shoots it with the shotgun, and then
And then
Toe
Toe Cutter
Cutter
tries to
grab
drown him.
like yeah, he just like grabs him by the face and puts the shotgun in his mouth, and then just walks him into the water, and then
Right.
the scene kind of just ends, and then
Yeah, it like crossfades to the next scene, and it's implied he's drowning him, but he comes back later.
but then he
So
he comes back. Yeah, it's like a couple scenes later we have Jimbo is like patrolling, or he's copping it up on the road,
right, he's road
and
warring it
then
up.
he's being a road warrior, and then he I guess maybe he was chasing someone because he flips his
Mm.
car.
He does. Yeah, the car flips
Um,
over.
and
Um,
he's like stuck. There's gasoline leaking, and it's Toe Cutter, and I mean maybe a whole bunch more of the gang was there, but it was specifically Toe Cutter and
and
the
whatever
guy
this
from the
guy's
police
name was,
station.
not
Yeah,
Nightcrawler,
right. Which it
because that's a
wasn't even the
worm.
other character's name.
Nightcrawler is a worm. Actually, fun fact.
Right.
Fish eat
He's
worms. I have a fish named Gallbladder Surgery.
Nightcrawler was Jake Gyllenhaal. He crawled through the night.
Right, and gallbladders.
Maybe.
He crawled
I
through
don't know him that
my
well.
gallbladder.
Oh, well, you know him better than I do, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, so the goose is cooked.
The goose is cooked.
The
What a bar.
goose
How
gets
long have you
the
been
goose
sitting
gets
on that
cooked.
one?
It's been since he died, since it happened.
You just chose
Um,
not to say it. That's awesome.
I was waiting. I was
I
waiting for it.
respect
You
that a
know, I
lot.
was waiting for the recording. So the goose gets cooked. It's Toe Cutter forces other guy to do it. There's the sick. He lights the match on his fucking leather jacket. It's so
Mm.
stupid
To
but
light his
cool.
cigarette and then light the
Right, and
fire.
then he's like light another one and light this guy on fire. Then the other guy's like, it's like, oh man, this guy looks so silly and stupid upside down. Look at this
Oh,
idiot.
it
He's
was so
upside
funny.
down.
He was like, I can't do it.
Like, oh,
I can't
I
do
can't
it.
light him on fire.
I can't light
That's
this man on
fucked, mate.
fire.
I
And then
can't light him on fire.
Toe Cutter says,
Like, oh, he looks
yes, you
so
can. And he
silly.
goes, oh, he looks so
Oh, he
sorry.
looks so silly upside down like that. Oh, he's a silly guy. And
What
then
a
he lights
silly
him on fire,
goose.
and he gets, what a silly goose. What a silly Mr. Jimbo. Ugh. But then he gets cooked.
He does. The
And
goose
Mad
got
Max is
cooked.
sad. He sees his hand, and he's
And then
sad
he
because
sees
he's
his
cooked.
face, but we don't see his
But we
face.
don't see his. We see the reaction shots to his face, and it's
Which is
silly.
honestly,
It's kind of cool, but
it's cool. Yeah,
it's
I like
silly.
that.
It's
That's
a
probably
silly
one of my
shot.
favorite scenes from like an
Yeah,
artistic movie perspective in the movie.
sure.
Because it's just kind
But
of like quirky, like ooh,
it's like,
face.
oh yeah, whatever. So that happens, and then some other stuff happens, and he's basically like, I don't want to be a cop anymore. My friend died. I want to spend time with my family and go on a road trip.
So that's when
I
he
want
goes
to
to
I want to
Eggman, right?
Yeah, that's he's talking to Eggman, and Eggman is shirtless and smoking a cigar while feeding his bird or something.
I think watering his plants.
Yeah, there's like a bird cage near there.
There was a
I
bird
don't
cage, but he had a
remember if it was.
watering thing in his
Yeah,
hand.
yeah, he had the plant water plant
He had a water
can.
plant. That's crazy.
That's the word. It's can.
He had a water plant. Well, that's wild, dude.
Yeah, plant made of water.
Plant called
But
water. Plant named kid named
kid
water.
named Fifi.
Kid
Um,
named Finger.
right. But yeah, so he goes on the road trip. It's uh, he goes to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles farmhouse.
The
It's also
Secret of
by a
the
beach.
Ooze place.
No, that was the first one.
No, it was
Because
Secret of
Casey
the Ooze.
Jones. No, because Casey Jones was there. You stupid boy. You stupid.
Yeah, but kid named Casey.
Oh, Casey Kasem was Shaggy.
He was America's Top 40 host for like years.
Casey cased them. He
What did he
in
case him with?
he encased them in Jello.
Like the stapler from The Office?
Yeah, sure. um.
That's
So
a
yeah,
contemporary. That's a
well when
contemporary
they
reference our audience will understand.
right. Oh, so when they're on the way to the farmhouse, I forgot about this. They stop to get gas
Yeah,
because
I was
there's
out for this part, so I don't remember it. So
yeah,
paint me a
and
word picture.
this is when Max is out getting gas or talking to the mechanic or something, and Toe Cutter and his goons try and jump Mrs. Rockatansky and the baby. She slams ice cream in Toe Cutter's face. It's pretty funny. Then she knees him in the balls.
The baby does it?
No, the the woman, the grown
Oh,
woman,
okay,
Mrs.
that makes a little
Rockatansky,
more sense.
not the little baby whose name is Spog.
His name is Spog.
um, but yeah, so then she gets in the car, drives away. One of them, the guy who's wearing the red jacket, it looks like Akira. He
Hmm.
hangs onto the car, and his hand gets ripped off, and then later their little puppy dog tries to eat it, and it's funny. But yeah, so she drives away, gets Max in the car. He's mad, and then they drive up to the farmhouse. Aunt May from Spider-Man is there, and she has a shotgun.
She does have a shotgun, and her name is
And
actually May. We're not just
it's
saying that this
May
time.
something. Yeah, I don't know
It's
what the
May
relation
June is
to
her name. It's really strange.
right. I don't know what her relation to the Rockatansky's is. I'm
Well, she had a
imagining
son who married into the family. So she married not
what
Max. What's her name? What's his wife's name? Lucille? Nope.
Jesse
Jesse
Rockatansky.
Rockatansky's sister. And so Jesse
What?
Rockatansky's sister is named July August.
Okay, sure. So Aunt May is
Aunt May
there,
June.
and also
I'm
this
sorry. Such a
this big Andre the Giant looking groundskeeper.
right.
Um,
Who's he's more like Lenny
right,
from
Andre
the
the Giant
Rabbits. What's his name? What's the book
of
called?
Mice and Men,
Of Mice and Men. Yeah, he's Lenny from Of Mice and Men. He wants the rabbit.
of Rice and Men.
Really? Both of those things.
Yeah, yeah.
Where did the men get the rice?
Um, the rice store,
Oh, they just bought it.
maybe the rice farm,
Mm.
maybe
Is
they
the rice
stole
farm
it.
where the rabbits are?
I don't know. Do
I
rabbits eat
want to go
rice?
see the rabbits.
What are you, Mel Gibson in this movie?
And also Lenny from To Kill a Mockingbird. I should reread Of Mice and Men. That's a good book. Anyway,
Yeah, it's a good one. I've got a copy that I stole from my. I mean, it stumbled into my possession,
are you a
and
big
it
reader?
no, I read
I
it for
was
school,
gonna say
but
I
I
didn't
just
take you as a big reader.
no, it's just one of those things like I have, like I just you know.
You've been mice
But
and
yeah,
menning.
sure.
You want to go see the rabbits. Anyway,
I
back to
want to
the
see.
movie.
Everyone wants to see the rabbits.
Right, which means dad
So, Max is working on his
is mad.
car. Spog is just playing around doing little Spog shit. And
He's on a
Mrs.
picnic
Rockatansky,
blanket by
yeah, but
himself with no
well, I
one
think
around to watch him.
he was near Max at one point. Then Max kind of just wandered off somewhere.
Mm.
But
Give a little
but
guilt to Max. I like that.
right, but Mrs. Rockatansky, she goes, she's just off alone for like a little picnic or like to sit
To the beach,
relax on the
right?
beach or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the beach from Old. It makes her old.
right. But not really. It makes
And
her
then
dead, though.
right, yeah, kind of. But as she's walking back through the woods, she gets chased by some of the tow goons.
The tunes.
Uh, the tunes, yeah, the Toon Land. They chase her through the Toon
Tune
Goon.
cutter.
The Goon Cutters chase her. She runs into Lenny. Lenny scares her and chases her back to Max and May. Then Max and Lenny go off looking for the Goon Cutters. Uh, then what
At
happened?
this point, May consoles Jenny, Lucille.
Oh, this is yes, Jenny Lucille. I don't know why you're calling her that, but sure. She this is the baby. The baby Spog is
Yeah,
missing.
for sure.
She's trying to find the baby
And she
Spog.
starts screaming,
She's
"Smog!"
she's she's freaking out. Yeah, she's just yelling Spog. This is when we realize his ridiculous name.
It's so silly.
Then yeah, her and Grandma May find the goons with Spog. They're holding him captive. And May ups the shoddy
It's
on them.
Sprog.
Oh, it's Sprog.
So
Okay,
okay. So I just googled it.
that makes more
Apparently,
sense.
does it? Sprog is Australian slang for child.
Oh,
So it
weird.
would be like her walking out of the house and yelling, "Child, child,"
Right.
which I guess
Okay.
like boy or whatever. I
Right.
kind of get
Yeah. But
Sprog.
I feel like, but yelling it that many times, you'd throw in an actual name. You
Right,
you drop the full name. My mom would have dropped the full government name by that point. You
right.
know.
Should have called you Daniel Gallbladder Surgery Savage.
Right. I mean, that's my name. Don't wear it out. You know.
Right, that's my name. Don't wear
Uh,
a pair of Janes.
okay.
I mean, they're just not as stylish as khakis.
I mean, to each his own. I guess I like baggy jeans more than any pair of khakis, but I'd
Yeah,
take
well,
khakis over like straight cut jeans probably.
hmm,
But again, I mean, to each his own. Like
right.
fashion
I mean,
is
to
of
each
course
his own.
subjective.
Sprog.
I mean, everyone in this wears exclusively
Leather.
leather,
Man,
or
what
that
I would
one
give to
scene
live in
where
an era where you could just wear all leather, head to toe
right
leather,
In Australia,
in the middle of the desert.
man, they must have been sweating, bro.
Yeah, well, I think it gets pretty cold there too. I don't know what time of year they film this. We'll talk
Yeah.
about next week. There's a particular cold character who's going to be fun for next week's discussion.
Oh, right, with the purple butt. Sure,
Right, purple
sure.
butt man.
But yeah, we'll get there. So yeah, so Granny Aunt May ups the shoddy. They get the baby back.
I got my baby
Kind
back.
of. Right, truth. New watch alert. New Sprog alert.
Same Sprog alert.
Right.
Because Sprog apparently
Uh
just means child.
yeah. What happens? How does this get
Um,
to the point where they die? I like checked out at this point, I think.
I think at
I
this point
remember
Max
they
comes in, or they all go in the house, and then Lucille and Sprog get into Max's car.
Oh, yes, they yeah. So yeah, Mrs. Rockatansky and Sprague get in Max's car
Hmm.
after getting away from the goon cutters. Then they're getting chased and the car runs out of it. The engine fails because Mad Max didn't finish fixing it.
Was it the
Uh,
engine failing, or did it run out of gas?
it could have been that it ran out of gas. I feel like they said like the engine just died,
Mm.
which I mean I guess that is that's what happens when you run out of gas. But
Right, right, right.
but either way, there's
Could have been a
limited
number of
gas in this
things.
universe. Uh,
Not just
they
limited. There's a shortage.
right.
They're
That
out
is
of
what
it.
makes the apocalypse. That is their
Which is a
apocalyptic thing in
fun.
this.
We'll talk about that once we get down to the
Yeah,
plot, because we're gonna finish the
yeah,
plot pretty early, but because it's almost
right.
over.
This is about the end of it. Yeah. So yeah, they have to get out of the car. Car's out. They get swarmed by the goons, and they get dragged off and killed, just left in the road there. There's a little baby shoe you see, and
Right.
then Max is mad,
And then he's
understandably
angry.
so. He's
And for the
he's
next 30 minutes, because we're an
real
hour
mad.
and well, this movie's pretty short too. It's only about an hour and a half.
Yeah. So
So
I
we're
guess
about
is
an
this
hour
movie only
in.
an hour in? It
Yeah.
feels. longer.
It does feel longer than an hour and a half. But yeah, the movie's only an hour and a half, and the next 30 minutes admittedly fly by. They're
Yeah,
the
yeah. No,
best
the
part of the
first
movie.
first hour of this movie, it drags for a lot. It drags when it's not just an action car chase scene.
And I wouldn't say it like it doesn't crawl.
No,
Like it's not horrible, but
it's just that
it's a
it's
little slower. And
slow.
it's not
Yeah,
even that it's slower, it's that it's 1979 Australian pacing.
sure.
It's made by people who've never made a movie before.
Right,
And they did a
right.
really
But
good job for their first time.
yeah, and it's fine. It's okay. It's good enough, you know.
But then from here on
It's
out, the whole thing's just a revenge. He kind of takes
yeah,
some of the
he's mad.
mhm.
Max is mad.
Toe Cutter gets hit by
He
a semi
goes
truck,
right. Yeah,
which
he
is
gets
awesome.
just run
After
over.
Max gets his
This is
car,
yeah, this is after Max drives into the forbidden zone and he tries to save what looks like a crash victim, but it's a trap for them to war
right,
crime him and
right,
shoot him in the knees.
right,
Uh so which they do that, then they run over his wrist with the motorcycle.
which is wild.
So you know he grabs the shotgun with the other one, blows one of them away, and then
Which is the
they just
same
leave
guy that
him.
Toe Cutter almost drowned earlier in the movie.
No,
I think
he's the one
so.
that was just no, that was just some random goon because that guy died clearly. The later guy, the later drowning guy, that's the one he handcuffs and then tells him to saw off his own ankle.
Right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
He was the one also committing a war crime, stealing that guy's boots.
Right.
Which is such a funny war crime, you know. It's just such a silly. He looks so silly upside down like that, about to be burned alive.
what a what are
Oh,
silly
he's like so
gars
silly upside down, about to be burned alive.
gars.
Um, so yeah, he shoots one of them, and then I guess Toe Cutter and other guy. Do they just leave?
No, this is when
Does he get up and chase them?
Toe Cutter starts driving away
Uh
because Toe
huh.
Cutter's the one at this point. The other guy is out by the car getting the boots or whatever.
Right, right.
Um, Toe Cutter starts driving away on the motorcycle, and this is where Max starts chasing him. I mean, this is the end of the movie.
Yeah, so the Max, I guess, just gets up on two busted knees
He
and
does. It's actually
broken
pretty
wrist
sick.
and
You
just
see him like limping to
yeah,
his car. He's
he
crip
does like
walking.
the John Lennon Ricket walk,
Right.
and he limps his way up. He does
Gets in the wrong
something
side
to
of the car.
right. He pit maneuvers Toe Cutter in front of a semi truck. It's
It's
hysterically
awesome.
awesome.
It's one of the coolest scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah, because
His
I mean, they
eyes get real
literally just.
big, and then it's
Oh yeah, his
boom.
eyes literally just pop out of his head, and then they just actually run over a motorcycle with a semi truck.
Yeah,
Like
and a
it's
dummy.
so sick.
It's
Yeah, well,
so
yeah.
good.
No, that was just a real extra.
That was actually Toe
They
Cutter.
just,
He
they
survived. He
just
was in
got
the new
yeah, they
one.
just got him wasted. They gave him a fucking 240s of OE of
Right.
Australian OE.
What's the VB?
Right? Yeah, yeah. They gave him 240s of VB.
Yeah. And then we not cut to, Max drives to where the guy is stealing the boot, who is the guy from earlier, and he
Right.
handcuffs him to the bottom of a
Yeah. There's
truck.
a yeah. There's like a flipped car that's leaking gasoline. He handcuffs him to that, and he's given some whole speech. The guy calls him mad. He says, "Oh, you're mad.
You're
You're
mad,
mad. You
Max!
can't leave me here. You're
Max, you're
mad,
mad!
Max. You're mad. Don't be
In
so
it.
mad, Max. Fury Road is just over there."
But Max
But
takes the
yeah,
headlight
then
off the car, sits
yeah,
it
it's
underneath
so
the gas
sick.
thing. It fills up with gas. Also, you can tell this is an old movie because the gas that they have is non-ethanol because it's clear, and our gas is not
Right.
clear.
No, it's rainbow.
Because now they put corn in it. But anyway, so he fills up the headlight with
Sure.
gas and he sets a lighter at the end of a trail he makes out of like some
Yeah.
tubing so that when the headlight overflows, it'll flow down the trail, hit the lighter, and blow this guy up. And then hands this man a hacksaw and says,
Yeah,
"All right,
tells
all right, you
he
can
said
cut."
he says it'll take 10 minutes to saw through that high tensile handcuff, but it'll take 5 minutes to saw through your ankle. Get sawing. He says, "You're mad, Max." Max Rokotansky, you're mad.
And then
You're
he gets in the
me.
car, and it shows, like, 3 different scenes of different road lines,
Right.
and you're like, "Oh, he's going somewhere," and it cuts back to a close-up of Max and then roll credits,
Yeah.
and it's
It's
awesome.
yeah. So yeah, he drives away. It blows up, and then roll credits. That's the movie. That's yeah.
It is great. I really
Bravo, I
do
guess.
I like this movie a lot. I've never seen it before until now.
Right. It definitely got me very excited to watch the other Mad Max movies for
For
sure.
sure. That's what it does to like,
I did
right
have a
now,
very
I'm
good time
thinking,
watching
"Hey,
this.
do we have time to record a second one and just get 2 weeks ahead?
Right.
Like, can we go ahead and
Yeah.
watch Road Warrior?" Because that
Right.
one I feel like is much more fun. We could at least watch it. I don't know. We don't have to. That's
Maybe.
not the
I
point.
don't do that.
But it's like it's
Uh,
fun, but you said it perfectly while we were watching it. This is
yeah,
not a
it's
movie, it's a pilot.
right. It very much is a pilot where it's just like it's got the general idea. It doesn't really look the same, kind of feels the same, but it's the same character
And
doing
it
the
almost
same
feels like
kind of
it's
stuff.
setting up
Right. It
characters we're gonna
works. It's like a building
follow.
block. Yeah.
Um, I will say this, because the Max Rockatansky movies, the Mad Max movies, what they are is it's a series of like legends, right? It's folk tales. It's
Yeah.
the man wandering through the desert and what he stumbles upon and the stories that are told of his life.
Right, right.
This one does a really good job of being like, and this is that man's origin story. Like, it almost feels
Right.
like it
This
could have
is
come later.
it could. Yeah, this could have been a prequel that they did like after Fury Road
It
or
very
in
much
lieu of Fury
does.
Road.
It very much does feel like a prequel. Like, it doesn't
Right,
feel
which is
like
weird because it's just the first movie.
right. Yeah, but it does more than just being a movie on its own. It feels like it's a prequel to something bigger, which is
Right.
either George Miller not knowing how to make a movie, which is most likely, or it's George Miller thinking ahead, but I don't think he was
Probably
doing
not.
that.
No.
But the action in it's great. I
But it's
see
yeah, it's
why
very
it
cool. Awesome stunts, just so many cars crashing and people getting severely injured
right.
probably. But it's great,
No,
man.
it
It's
is.
mid-May.
It's so great. That's what this movie's for. This movie's not for you to sit and be like, "Oh, the story is okay and the plot's okay and the pacing's okay." No, no, no. It's for you to check out while everybody's talking and then get really
Right.
excited when a
You zone out, you have a couple beers and you check in when you hear
right.
that's when you snap to and you're like, okay, cool stuff's gonna
This
happen.
is a movie you put
Then
on while you have friends
when you
over.
hear the saxophone playing, you zone out, you talk to your buddies, you catch up, and then
You eat
maybe
some French fries in
yeah,
ketchup.
you step outside, have hit the bong a couple times, have a cigarette,
Mm.
whatever. Go to the bathroom, powder your nose, whatever you do.
Yo,
Um,
who got powder in their nose?
and then cool cars, and it's good.
Yeah, no, I like this a lot. It's not my favorite Mad Max movie. It's not my favorite movie for sure,
Right,
but I
right. I
really
would
like it. It's
hope
got
not.
it's got something. Like, there's a charm
Yeah.
to this that I feel like is nice that we don't see movies like this much anymore.
I mean, they don't make them like this anymore.
Right. I
I
asked,
actually asked. Yeah,
but I don't know.
I
I'm
wasn't
not
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
Does anybody make real Mad Max anymore?
Does anyone make mid mix anymore?
Oh my. So do you think this movie
So
holds
this
up?
mix was mid. Uh, Not really,
Yeah.
but yeah, kind of.
I don't think
The
so.
I would
I'm gonna be honest. I like it, but I don't think it holds up.
the
Hmm.
action practical
Even then,
car
though,
stuff. I would say that
you haven't
holds
seen
up.
Fury Road, so
No, but
I don't
so
know. Movies have done this kind of action better, and I think that's kind of where I'm
sure,
at. Like, I've seen a man get run over, and I've seen it look better. Now, it's awesome in this. Actually, I've never seen it.
right.
I've never seen that
I
much better.
yeah. I don't know. I've never seen another movie actually run over a motorcycle with a semi truck. Is
Right.
the thing.
That's true.
I'm gonna say that specifically holds up.
That specific. Okay, yeah. I don't
There
think
was
the
one. There
movie as
was.
a whole holds up.
I feel like there was no. I wouldn't say anything in the movie other than specific car stunt stuff
Right.
holds up.
Right. I would agree.
Um,
So
but
okay, so it doesn't really
mid
hold up.
mix.
Would you recommend this to a friend? And this is kind of a tough one for me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think
don't. I
it
don't
would
think
it would
that's that
definitely
tough
depend
for
on
me.
the friend. If I was trying to
I
get
think
someone into
probably.
Mad Max, I don't think I'd start with this one.
See, I probably would. I think.
You say having seen none of the other ones.
Well, yeah, but I think that's like a good way to go about. Like, I imagine
Sure.
they get. I'm not going to say progressively better because I can't imagine three is better than two, from what I've heard from you. But I imagine they get like I don't know. I know Fury Road's the best one, so
I would say for me, it's more. I think if you watch this movie, you're probably not going to get into the franchise if you don't
maybe
immediately watch the next one.
sure.
um,
I'd recommend maybe watch the stuff from this like the Google
Watch
car
like
car
watch like a
stunts
YouTube best of
compilation.
Mad Max 1979 compilation and then go from there.
Right. Yeah. But
I
no,
guess it's
I would actually I would recommend this movie
okay.
as a whole. It's fun enough.
It is fun. I will say that.
Like I said, like it's something to watch and be able to tune out
It's
in the
great. It's
stuff that doesn't
the
matter.
baseball of action movies.
Right. Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
but yeah, with that being said, I guess that's it for this episode of the
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah, short ep, but
Short ep, yeah, only by like 15
short
minutes.
ep
Yeah,
for a short movie, but
short
check out
movie.
the if you made it this far, which maybe you did because it's a little shorter. Check out Patreon. It's a whole 15 minutes you don't have to listen to, and it's $1 commentary tracks galore.
Yeah, next week we're gonna watch
Um,
Mad Max 2: The Road Warrior, and we'll see you then.
and I don't even know her, so find out more. See if he's still Rockatansky in.